If you grew up in West Texas, you know the lights hit different. For the class of 89 at Odessa Permian, those lights were more than a backdrop. They were a defining force. Today, former teammates and brothers return decades later to talk about who we were then, who we became, and how the lessons from those Friday night lights still echo in the way we lead and live our everyday lives. This is Beyond West Texas. So I have Brian Chavez here. Brian, you want to tell them a little bit about Brian Chavez, number 85?
So I'm Brian Chavez. Nickname's Chavez. Played on the 87, 88 Permian Panthers. I was tight end and defensive end, team captain my senior year. Went off to college at Harvard, studied here at UT, studied in Mexico during law school in the University of Guanajuato. And I graduated from Texas Tech with a Juris Doctorate degree in '96. So then just been working as a lawyer the last 30 years, and that's kind of my story. Gotten some different business ventures that we can get into later, but that's kind of me.
We got Don Billingsley here, and Don, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good to be with both of you guys. So always good to come together with teammates, and that time in our lives, it was short, but it was impactful. And honestly, I probably shouldn't be here today. Right? As there's probably pretty good money on me not being here.
Yeah, for sure.
I think having a book written about your season never occurred to me that it was more to be put in writing and it would reflect your life and that period of time. But no more impactful for me than it would be otherwise, right? That book could have been written any year. It could have been about any of the players. I think it captured well the feeling of playing in West Texas. And people ask me where I played football, and I tell them, well, University of Permian, and played tailback. I probably would have. I was telling you earlier, I would have done better as a running back had Boobie not gotten hurt. But at that time, it never occurred to me either what would happen after football ends. The thing I miss most after I quit partying was the contact and just the camaraderie and being in the locker. The locker room was our second home. I mean, we were there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
So that was a huge gap that was left in my life. It was just working out with guys every day that you're close to, and then it disappears because the next group's coming up, right? And so it's like, how do I find my way? And I think just missing that piece in my life, and just how I was living at that time. I moved to Oklahoma. My mom and stepdad said, "Hey, you come to school somewhere nearby, and we'll help pay for your school." That was the best offer I got. I had a lot of walk-on offers, but that was the best offer I had. And that summer, I had a life-changing experience that really I think is one of the reasons that I'm even part of the book, is to show, hey, here's a kid that lived his life in one way growing up and through that time, and just totally had a change of heart and a change of life. It's given me a platform. It's given me an opportunity to say, yes, I played for Permian, and anybody who's played there knows what goes into it. And it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. I think for me, that's what's impacted my life about Permian, that has been something in business life, and when things get hard, helps me to overcome.
Tell him, Chavo, what I do. That day he told me, what you do? And I said, hey, I'm in construction technology. He's like, I know where you got your education. It's good to sit down with you guys, and it's good to hear about the old times, but I want to take y'all back, and I want to see if I can rehash some memories. 86, I believe. Friday night, we lost to San Antonio. What happened on Monday?
It started.
I don't, to this day, I've been a strength and conditioning coach, and I've coached. I've never seen people work that hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, again, only 2 teams work.
That's it, yeah.
Now the district has 5 teams at the row, so all you got to do is beat out Jesse in the playoff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's it. But that Monday, started probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Off-season program. It was probably October when it was. So usually off-season didn't start till after Christmas. And those coaches were so pissed, and they took it out on us. And off-season is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, from anything else in my life, off-season was the hardest thing ever. We dreaded it from the moment you woke up. You dreaded it.
Got works through it. And they,
Well, I mean, we had off season. I mean, that wasn't all we did. I mean, I know we did it, but I mean, you got to think about. You talk about all season, but Don, me and you, when we were getting all this together, we talked about Hood, Barnum, and Nimitz, which are the three schools that fed in the Permian. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we ran those plays from those days. So when you got to Permian, your learning curve was small. You were already part of that system.
So I think what we did, I wasn't able to play popcorn or football because I weighed too much. So I didn't get to play until seventh grade. Yeah, seventh grade, Bonham, Hood, and then they feed into Permian. And in seventh grade, you learn all the basic plays. And I think what the coaches did and the staff did was every year they incorporated a couple more plays, a couple more things on defense, more schemes. And then eighth grade, you learn more. Ninth grade, you learn more. Then when you got up to Permian, boom, you already had the basics, and then they just incorporated, little twists and turns here and stuff like that. But getting back to the feeder system, and you remember, I don't think Don was here for that spring training when we were in ninth grade.
Oh, yeah.
And so you got the three competing schools, and so we hated each other, and now we have to come together. And so all those egos, hatred, somehow had to gel into a brotherhood and team. That was the hardest hitting I've ever been. And I remember I was middle linebacker on the depth chart. I was third string. I had never been in the first string. Chad Payne was first string. Jeff Sproul was second string.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
By like the third day, I was first string. I was just relentless. They knew how to push your buttons. They knew how to push your buttons. And we just went after it. And that's the hardest hitting I've ever seen. In ninth grade, spring training, we bust out the Permian.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Spring training was tough. It was no condition run. It was all hitting, all day, all hitting.
Now, I'm going to see if I can take y'all back. To me, I know who the hardest hit. People say it was Duke. I think it was Brian Jones.
Our senior year, man, I think you got two of those guys. Man, but if you watch some film and see Ivory, he was all over the field.
I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I will say Denver has been a strong safety. People fear going towards 40. You will never always saw people go there.
And Brian Johnson, he ended up going to the Navy. He's been fighting out for 20, 25 years. Great guy. And not a mean bone in his body, man. When you put that helmet on him, he's a different guy.
He's a different guy. I just don't think people understand. Sweet pea, yeah. Remember when Booby got hurt?
I agree.
I mean, I'm cocky, crazy dude. We grew up with him. I love him to death. I didn't know.
I remember it was a controlled scrimmage. It wasn't even a real game.
Well, to us it wasn't nothing. To them, it was a Super Bowl.
And I remember when Booby got hurt. It was an 18 or 38, I guess. He was fullback to the right side. He got hit on the sideline, or he got hurt on the sideline, and they told us he was down. And I just remember, I guess we all felt the same way. Oh shit, there's our whole season. We're all trying. We had state in our mind that we're going to do it. All that hard work. And in one swoop, it was almost taken away from us. And he was, big ego, big personality, and we kind of thought he was, he's our road to the state championship, and we didn't know who was going to back him up, And I just remember, for the first time, kind of feeling not so invincible. What are we going to do? We never had that feeling. We always thought we're going to win. We're going to go all the way. We never thought we were going to lose a game. And it was, it was just devastating, really. And it took us a little, but what do the coaches always say?
That was the reason we lost to Marshall.
Definitely.
I think that's the reason we lost to Marshall.
Well, we beat the heck out of it, too.
Well, I will tell you
on paper.
I tell people to this day, we hit that dude so hard, and he just kept running. He kept running. So, we were there, but I think that was like maybe a couple of weeks.
Either, so he wasn't.
Yeah, no, it was a couple weeks. You know, he was still running the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, people see videos of Chris Colbert and he's running, and I'm like, y'all didn't see him run the wrong way, stuff like that. But man, I guess is three guys who I think kind of got out of a town that we wasn't supposed to get out of. Good. I mean, Brian, you're a lawyer, done you doing your things. Is it anything about them Friday night lights right now that has affected you as an adult, that has made you go, man, me watching football and engaging in football, it's just like the same.
I think back to just hard work and things that most people won't do. I'm not afraid to do, and I take those on because, like, if there's something challenging that people are like, oh, that's maybe too much, I don't mind just because of that attitude, right? And I think it's mats that we did in off season to get you there. It's pushing as hard as you can to wear Panther pelts. You guys remember those? Had 4 Panther pelts at the end of the
Oh, yes.
Some of them throw up. We didn't work hard. And
But that was acceptable.
yeah,
Well, it's on that.
sort of dog.
You know, it's not acceptable.
But we'd do our full rotations, right? And then they added fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Right? You remember that? It's like fourth quarter. We're doing another one.
And no water breaks.
No.
I mean, you're talking about an hour,
I mean, it's
20 minutes.
bringing those brackets. No
Mhm.
water. Yeah.
So do you think that was the
I think
helped
that
us get past Arlington 987?
yes, yeah, and it was never give up. It fight to the end, and it was. Had it not been hot that day, maybe it was a different story.
Yeah.
Because it was warm.
They won that game literally like the last minute of that game.
Yeah, and it was by a mark. It wasn't by a touchdown. It was by first down.
Yeah.
And they thought they were going to win. Even our fans didn't want us out because they were like,
Why
they
is that?
they were like, they're full quarters.
Why do you think they thought they was going to win? Because of the game before.
Yeah.
So they literally took down 3 of the best running backs in the state in Midland League, right? Who cleaned out the clock, right? So in their eyes, oh man, we finna take them.
Yeah.
We finna beat them. But Chavo, as you know, we were out there, man. I'll tell you the truth. At halftime, I thought we were done.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember that game. So I actually broke my ankle in the third quarter, kept on playing the game. But I remember we were down by so much. And when they scored one of their last touchdowns, I remember throwing my helmet on the sideline and thought we were done. And then, we just kept on fighting, kept on going.
But then
Yeah, we ran the same play. Sean Crow.
I can't. We don't even have enough time to talk about what we've seen.
Still one of the top 10 games in
It still is.
in the state.
Still is. Yeah. And then, earlier you talked about the hardest hitting people on our team. Sean Crow, without a doubt. The hardest hitting person I've ever gone against.
We had a head about that big.
I mean,
I remember
we were getting shot away from contact.
First time I hit him, we were just doing cross the bow, 3/4 speed. And I thought, okay, we're just going to kind of go up and hug each other. And I bounced off of him. I was like, oh my God. I understood why he was so good. That was the first time I ever hit him. And I got, oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the other team. No wonder. He is what he is.
Man, I'm listening to y'all, man. And I tell y'all, I had a friend who was a sports psychologist. And we were eating at Applebee's talking about volleyball. And she brought up football. And I was like, oh, she was like, something's not right with you. And I'm like,
I've been getting ahead of it.
Well, I'm just like, people don't understand what Odessa Permian means. So I know people go to the Alabamas and all of this, and they talk about all the collegiate sports and all of that. But Odessa was guys that we grew up, that we came through the ranks. That was guys who, and I'll tell you a funny story about Chavez, but the guys we came through who I'm not going to play with them anymore. I mean, I don't get to run the maps with them anymore. I don't get to goof off and be the goofy Robert Brown anymore. That was hard for me. And it took up into my to finally realize that, man, I'm not that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I asked y'all about, man, have that affected y'all, it hit me big time.
For sure.
If somebody write a book, you need to write a book on what we are, what we truly are, and how it affected us. Because I don't know y'all over 40 years. We're sitting here, and I have no hostility.
Yeah.
And when I see y'all, I see nothing but love for them God.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to, bring them in, but then that was very, very hard.
It was combat.
Yeah. Well, I agree. And, playing football or just football was 95% of our lives.
Yeah.
We lived it, we breathed it. And like you said earlier, we're a brotherhood. And one day you lose a game, we lost to Carter. We'll get into that later. Sure. And the next day it's over. I mean, they just ripped it out and we're done. We're kind of like,
out of your house.
it's like we were nomads in a lost land. Like, what do we do now?
Aha. Thought that was all. Not even close. We're just getting started. Stay tuned as Robert Brown, number 12, Brian Chavez, number 85, and Don Billingsley, number 26, go even deeper into Permian football and the real stories behind Friday Night Lights, the book, the movie, and the series. And yes, you just may hear a few more voices along the way. More to come. This is Beyond West Texas. Ba, 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 bum, bum, bum. Peace.